Hi guys! So you might be wondering, who am I? It is Mrs. Giles. I've just shaved my hair off. It was getting to the point where it was driving me mad. I couldn't see anything. So I brought some shavers and zoom. So there you go. I am bald-headed for the moment. Well, today guys, we're going to be doing some science and we're going to be looking at the structure of animals. Now when we talk about structure, that means what something is made up of. So it means the body parts of an animal, what body parts animals have. And we're going to be looking at those today because we know that not all animals have the same body parts, do they? No. Alright then guys, let's do this. Okay guys, lucky for you, you're not going to have to stare at my bald head because you need to be able to see the screen. So guys, on this slide we have a picture of a dog, a beautiful dog. I think it's a Labrador, isn't it? I'm not very good at breeds of dogs, but I think that's a Labrador. I'll check after this. Now, a dog is a very different animal from a human, from us. What makes a dog different? Why is it different? How is it different? Have a think. Pause the video, have a chat with your adult or a friend. How is a dog different from us? And why? Why does a dog need to be different from us? So guys, how is a dog different from us? Well, first of all, the dog has 4 legs, doesn't it? It's got 4 legs, okay? We only have 2, okay? But it's got 4 legs. What else does a dog have that's different? They've got floppy ears, big floppy ears, and they've got better hearing than us. They have skin. They have fur, don't they? Wonderful fur to keep them warm, and they don't need to wear clothes. What else does a dog have? What does a dog have that we humans definitely do not have? A body part that humans don't have. I think you've guessed it, a tail. So let's have a look and label the body parts of this dog. So we were right, it's got 4 legs, okay. Claws, oh I forgot about claws. Now humans, we've got nails, but we don't have claws, do we? And a dog has claws so that it can hunt its food if it needs to, okay, sharp claws, and so they can dig into the ground. So that's a different body part that this animal has. A tail, a dog has a tail, a flappy tail, okay. A spine. Now, a spine, that's a part of a dog that is the same as a human, okay? We have a spine, goes along our back, okay? And it keeps us upright and it keeps us strong. So we both have a spine. Ears. Now, we have 2 ears as humans, but dogs' ears are very different. And not all dogs' ears are flappy and long, are they? My daddy's dog has got short, upright ears. And a nose, and 2 eyes like us. Now, can you think of any other animals that are similar to a dog? Similar means they have some things that are the same. They've got things that are the same. Pause the video and have a think. I can think of some animals that are similar to a dog. My brain straight away goes to a cat, because a cat has a tail as well. A cat has claws. It's got 4 legs, 2 eyes, and they're very similar because they're both mammals. That's a type of animal. There are lots of different types of animals, okay, and one of them is a mammal, okay. Now there are animals that are very different that are very different to a dog because they have different body parts, and that's what's so amazing about planet Earth. So there are so many different animals and they have all different types of body parts, and they have different body parts for different reasons. We're going to play a game now because I think you know a lot of the names of different body parts of animals. So we're going to play a game and it's called Odd One Out. Let's give it a go. Okay guys, so we're going to play Animal Odd One Out. Which animal is the odd one out and why? So we're looking for the animal that's slightly different to the 3 other animals. It's one of them that's different. And then the other animals must have something in common. Shall we start looking at the body parts, children? Let's start with a snake. Now the snake, we can see it has eyes, it's got a nose, Has it got skin? Would we say it has skin? No, we'd say it has scales, doesn't it, instead of skin? Okay, scales. Okay, so we've looked at the snake. Let's have a look at the fish. Let's have a look at the fish. Now, children, do you know, how does a fish breathe underwater? It has gills. Gills. So humans, we have lungs which help us breathe. Okay, they're inside our body. While a fish has gills. Okay, now there's slits on its body. Okay, so it's got gills. If you didn't know that, fish have gills to help them breathe. Okay. The fish has eyes. Does it have legs and arms, the fish? What do we call these bits here? These bits, okay, on a fish. You're probably shouting at me. We call them fins, okay? Fins. So the fish has fins. It doesn't have legs or arms, okay? But what it does have that's similar to a snake is it has scales. Fish have scales on their body. They don't have fur like a bear, and they don't have skin like a human. Right, let's have a look at the bear now. Now the bear, he has got ears. Oh, can we see any ears on these animals, children? They might be hiding, I'm not sure, we'd have to do some research. But we can see the ears on a bear and they're sticking up high. We can see it's got eyes, a nose and a mouth. What's different about the bear to the snake and the fish? You can see the difference, can't we? The bear has got fur, hasn't got scales, has it? Let's have a look at the lizard. So the lizard, I know what you're thinking, children, the lizard has scales as well. It's got scales. So this lizard has scales, a fish has scales, and snakes have scales. So that's something they all have in common. So the bear could be the odd one out because it has fur. Shall we see if we're right? Oh, so it is the odd one out. The bear is the odd one out because it has fur instead of scales. Well done, guys. Okay, guys, right, so let's have a look at this picture. Which animal was the odd one out and why? So let's start with the snake again. So we have the snake, and like we said, the snake has scales. Okay, it's got eyes and a nose. Okay, we can see it there. Has it got any arms or legs? No, hasn't got any arms or legs, has it? It slivers on its body. Have a look at the other animals. I can straight away see something that all these animals have. Can you, children? What does a scorpion, a lobster, and a crab all have? Yeah, they've all got claws, haven't they? They've all got like the pincer claws. The scorpion has them here. Their claws, their pincers, their claws. Then we have a lobster, and they've got claws, and a crab has claws. That was quite an easy one, wasn't it? Okay. The snake definitely doesn't have claws. So I think the snake must be the odd one out. Shall we see? Yes, the snake is the odd one out because it does not have claws, pincers. Right, another one. Okay, I'm going to let you guys have a go at doing this one. Can you work out which animal is the odd one out and why? Why is it the odd one out? So I'll read you the names of the animals, though you probably know them. We have a rabbit, a rhino, a deer, or a bull. Right, you pause the video, have a think, have chat with your adult or a friend. What do some of these animals have in common? What do they have that's the same? And what animals have something different? Think about their body parts. Pause the video. Right, guys, so let's have a look. Now, what I did notice about these animals, what I did think, is that all these animals have got 4 legs. A rabbit has 4 legs, a rhino has 4 legs, a deer has 4 legs, and a bull has 4 legs. So they've all got 4 legs. They've all got that in common. Okay. They've also all got ears. They've all got 2 ears. What else have they got? Oh, they've all got a nose or a snout. Okay. What's different about them then? What's different? Oh, What does a rhino have? What's a rhino known for? Its horn, isn't it? It's known for its horns. Oh, and the deers have got horns coming out the top. And there's a bull. Well, but a rabbit doesn't have any horns. It's only got big ears. So the odd one out is a rabbit. And the rabbit is the odd one out because it does not have horns. Okay. Oh, this is an easy one, guys. This is the easiest one. I should have started with this one. I thought the first one was quite hard. Right, so which animal is the odd one out and why? Right, you pause the video and have a chat about what do these animals, some of these animals have in common. What parts of the body do they have that are the same? And then there's an animal that definitely has something different. Pause the video. Right, guys. Well, we straight away see there are 3 birds on here, aren't they? We have, let me get my highlighter, we have a robin, a beautiful robin. We have a toucan. Oh my goodness, they've got it mixed up. That's not a toucan. That's a parrot, and that is a toucan. That was not my fault, but you know that. So that's the parrot, and that's the toucan. Okay, but these animals are all birds, and birds are very different. Okay, because they're different to us because they have wings. They don't have arms, do they? They have got wings. And they don't have skin, they have feathers. And what about their mouth? What do we call their mouths? We call them beaks. Now we know that the odd animal out then has to be the koala. Because look, the koala has got fur. We can see its ears. Can't see the ears on the birds. Hasn't got a beak, and it definitely hasn't got wings. Right, guys, so let's have a look at some of the different parts of an animal that we might see. And these are some of the parts we might not always think of. So tusks. Okay, now tusks are long, growing front teeth, and animals usually have 2. And they come right out of the mouth. You can see the elephant there has got these long tusks. And you've got the walrus and the warthog, okay? And the tusks are usually curved, and the males, that means the boys, they often use their tusks when they're fighting because they want to show that they're the strongest, and they can use them to protect themselves, to defend them against other animals, okay? And elephants use their tusks as digging, which is interesting, while walruses use them to grip onto the ice, to keep them stuck on the ice. So tusks, that's a different part we haven't looked at, a different part of an animal. Claws. So many animals have claws. We don't have claws though, do we? We have fingers. But claws, lots of animals have claws. Even birds, look, they've got the claws, haven't they, on their feet. And it says a claw is a curved and pointed nail attached to the end of a toe or finger. And most mammals, reptiles and birds have them. Can you think of some animals, guys, that have claws and why they might need claws? Fins. Well, we know what animals have fins, don't we, children? Okay. Animals that live under the water have fins, okay? Or, I guess penguins. Penguins have fins, don't they? They don't always live underwater, but they do. They can swim in the water. As Miss Giles going off on a tangent, but fins. So fins are on the outside of the body, a bit like arms, okay, of aquatic animals. And aquatic animals are animals that can live under the sea. And it says the fins help the aquatic animals swim faster through the water. And it says some aquatic animals have fins that are used to make them look more attractive than other aquatic animals. Oh, so attractive means good looking. So we all love dolphins, don't we? We always think dolphins are beautiful and we like the fins on a dolphin. Yeah, interesting. Gills. Now gills, very important one for aquatic animals. What do gills do? Can you remember what I said was very important about gills? Yeah, some animals have gills so they can breathe underwater, and you can see them really clearly on the shark. Let me go here. Here are the gills, and that's how they breathe. Okay. And what animals that live on land? What do animals that live on land used to breathe? And I'll give you a clue. Humans. use something inside their body to breathe, and I mentioned it earlier. Shells! Oh, I hadn't thought about shells. That's a different part of an animal. Why do you think some animals have shells? Like a snail, or a tortoise, or a turtle. Why do they have shells? Have a think, children. Yeah, it's to protect them, isn't it, from predators. And predators are animals that try to attack them, maybe eat them or attack them. And the shell protects their bodies, and it protects the inside of their bodies as well. Tentacles. Oh, I hadn't thought about tentacles, but that's a really strange different part of a body, or a different part of an animal, isn't it? A body part of an animal, a tentacle. It says most tentacles are used for grasping, that kind of means grabbing, and feeding, as they eat from their tentacles. Oh, weird. Tentacles have senses that can be used for touch, so they can use them to touch things. They can use them for sight, so they can use the tentacles to see and to smell or taste particular foods. That's crazy. So they can use their tentacles for all the senses. Wow. And you can see the jellyfish. They've got really long tentacles. Had no idea that a snail had tentacles. I'm going to have to find out about that. Oh, look, here's a challenge. Can you find out which animal's tentacles contain venom to paralyse and kill its prey? Oh, that might be something to Google. Which animal's tentacles contain venom? Ooh. Feathers. We did mention feathers. We talked about that being a different part of the body on an animal. And we know that feathers are really important because they allow the bird to fly, and they can control their wings when they're flying. It's really important, their feathers. And they also, the feathers insulate the birds, and that means it keeps them warm, protected from water and the cold temperatures. Okay. Wow. Oh, look! I forgot about the feathers on a peacock. Wow. And that is really important. The feathers on a peacock. You know why peacocks have feathers like that? Why they have sticky outy feathers? Because it can scare off predators. It can make predators stay away. They'll see that and they'll be terrified. It is quite scary, isn't it? And beautiful. Okay, guys, so there are some really unusual animals in the world. Unusual means different, kind of strange. And there really are some different animals in the world, aren't there, with different body parts. I bet we haven't even talked about all the different body parts. I bet you can name more body parts on different animals than I can. I know that children in my class love finding out about animals. Okay, and this down here is one of my favourite animals here. This is a hammerhead shark. Head is shaped like a hammer. Oh, I love hammerhead sharks. Okay, now we're going to play another game, and this game is I'm going to tell you something about the animal. I'm going to tell you what letter its name begins with, and you're going to see if you can find out what it is. Right, let's have a look at this one first. An animal that has antlers. It begins with D. An animal that has antlers. Oh, antlers are like a bit like horns, aren't they? Begins with D. Oh, yes, I do know. A deer. Yes. Oh, that's right. Animal this has the antlers on here. Let me get here. Here are the antlers. Here's a deer. It's a mammal. It's got 4 legs. It's got fur. That's a deer. Right, let's have a look at a different one. An animal with fins. It begins with D. Fins. Well, fins we know are on animals that can swim. They might swim underwater. They might swim on top of the water. Okay. Fins begins with a D. A D. Oh. Is it a dolphin? Yes. Oh, dolphins. So beautiful, dolphins. All right. An animal with tentacles. It begins with oh. I think I can think of an animal that has got 8 tentacles and it begins with an O. Can you? It's an octopus. Woohoo! Now this last one, I've left this to last because I think this is really tricky. An animal that has gills and its name begins with T. Right, an animal that has gills. What type of animals have gills? Right, an animal that has gills must live under the water. It means it can breathe underwater. Not sure. Begins with T. You ever think, children? Guys, I still can't think what it is. A tadpole! Of course, a tadpole. Didn't think of that. That was a tricky one. Okay, guys, so we found out loads and loads about the different body parts of animals. And what I'd like you to do now is there are some sheets with pictures of animals on, and I'd like you to label the different parts of an animal. Okay, you might want to do one animal, you might want to do two, you might want to do three. You might even want to draw your own animal if there's not an animal that you want to do. Okay, because I couldn't put every animal on the sheets. You might want to draw your animal. And I want you to label the different parts of the body. Now, there's also a word mat with different with the words for different parts of the body, like tusk or tentacle, so you can spell it correctly and you know what it's called. Okay, and that will help you. Well done today, guys. Brilliant job.